Okay. You guys, it's time. So I've been I feel better now after class, but I came in really flustered because I left my house at 8 o'clock and I got here at 9:40. Ooh. Jen had to start the class and then I had to jump in and I didn't know what she had done before I arrived. It was a little messy, but I made it. I don't know what was happening with traffic. It was insane. And I had messaged someone, and this is why I love yoga people. I had messaged Brian. I don't know if you know Brian, he's in an earlier class, and I know Brian and Cindy, if they're here, usually the first ones at the studio. So I looked at my list. Cindy wasn't on the list, but Brian was. And so I was like, hey, I'm running late, but I'm still coming. I still thought I would make it. I was just giving him a heads up. And I had already messaged Jen to let her know. Thankfully, she was here. And then I messaged him back. And he's like, I don't think you make it. And he said, just breathe. I love that. Like, yes, I need to breathe. It's good to have those reminders. So I passed out a slip of paper and I showed you guys online that little slip of paper. I know you may or may not have been able to jot it down. So just kind of wing it with us. Yeah, I know. Sorry. My eye. Yeah. You need to figure out how to make it bigger. It's pretty big. So I'm still inspired from my trip to India. You know, I've been on this path for 23 years. I'd been to India in my 90s, but that was before I started yoga. So I didn't do any yoga in India in the 90s. And when I was able to go a few weeks ago, I took 3 different classes from 3 different teachers at 3 different locations. They were all men. And I actually loved that because if you look here in the West, the majority of the teachers are female. And I had nothing but male teachers in India. They do have female teachers. I just happened to be sitting at the feet of male teachers. But I loved that because I've told you guys forever, yoga was created by men for men originally. And then it's kind of spread, obviously, look around the room. Denny is our token male. Carlos is online, another token male. But every class we started with the chants. And I mentioned when I first came back, I thought it was just interesting that every class opened with chant, and it made me really think it's purpose, right? Because our heart, if you look at the energy centers in the body, the lower 3 are, it's not that there's not spiritual lessons to learn, it's not that they're not important centers, because they are, they're just more earthly, more about third dimensional reality, you know, and how we're existing on this plane. And when we get to the heart, it's where the energies integrate, and it's said to be the seat of the soul. So anything above that are considered more higher spiritual centers. So I love that we started using our voice. We used our vocal cords to really begin the practice. And that also is a devotional piece. And I would never have you chant anything you don't know what it means. And I always try to pick things that are non-controversial, you know, regardless of your belief system, you're okay with it. If you're not okay with it, obviously you don't have to say it. But the one that I chose for today is something that we chanted in India. And I never heard it before, but I don't hear a lot of Sanskrit over here. It's yoga saranam gacchami. And it means I take refuge in this discipline of yoga. I take refuge in this discipline. So sadhana is the root word for sadhanam, the second word you'll be saying. So I want to explain what that is. Some of you already know, but a sadhana means a personal spiritual practice. So you may just come to this class for exercise, and that's fine. You could be chanting that mantra for whatever spiritual practice you devote yourself to. So maybe you have a habit of getting up early in the morning and opening up a book of inspiration, something that gives you motivation. You may open up sacred scriptures in the evening before you go to bed. You may write a gratitude list. You may be a gardener. You may have a special skill like painting that you can get into a state of meditation with, a state of oneness with. It doesn't necessarily have to be yoga, even though the chant's kind of referring to this. But yoga and meditation and mindfulness were meant to be a spiritual discipline, a way to connect to God, a way to connect to yourself, a way to enhance your life, a way to bring health and happiness into your day. So that's basically what the chant means. And so when I was in India, I noticed, and I may have mentioned this last week, it doesn't matter if you're in a tuk-tuk, it doesn't matter if you're in a rickshaw, it doesn't matter if you're in a car or if the bus is there, they all have an altar in the vehicle. They have either Ganesh sitting on the dashboard, or Shiva sitting on the dashboard, or a goddess sitting on the dashboard. They have the garland of marigold flowers that may be real, or most of them are real there. Very few of the artificial ones there. There are the artificial as well, but they decorate it daily. If they're fresh flowers, they change them out daily. It's an offering. And I just think that what a beautiful practice that is. Who thinks to do that here? We hang air fresheners up in our car. But you know, I've mentioned the first week I came back, they do a daily ritual every day, morning and evening after river. So I just want you to consider, do you have a daily ritual or spiritual practice? And if you don't, maybe this theme today and maybe our mantra today will help you to create one. So let's sit up and we'll use our voices and we'll do a call and response. And Danny, it's okay if you want to say that. I'll say the first word, you say it after me, second word, you say it after me. And then we'll do that 3 times and then we'll synchronize it in unison together. Okay. And if you have a hard time reading the slip of paper, you can just close your eyes and repeat. Maybe get it memorized. Okay, let's begin. Sit up nice and tall for a moment, close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Allowing these breaths to help you to center before we use our voice. Let's join the palms together. Bring the thumbs to the center point of the chest, touching the breastbone. And if you can, try to sing from your gut so that you can feel that vibration here at the heart. And even notice the tingling that spills from the lips. Feel free to open up the eyes if you need the slip of paper and repeat after me. Yoga, yoga, saranam, gacchami, yoga, yoga, saranam, gacchami. Beautiful. Yoga, yoga, saranam, gacchami. Beautiful, in unison. Yoga, saranam, gacchami. 2 more. Yoga, gacchami. Yoga, gacchami. 4 more. Yoga Saranam Gacchami. Yoga Saranam Gacchami. Yoga Saranam Gacchami. Last one. Yoga Saranam Gacchami. Sit with that a moment. I take refuge in this discipline of yoga. And of course, reflect on anything else you may take refuge in that you consider to be a daily ritual or spiritual practice. Open up the eyes, bring the hands to fist in front of the chest, and do this mechanic with me. You're going to stretch the arms up and fan the fingers wide, and as you exhale, the hands pop back down. Okay, and then we're going to add in a short, sharp inhale and exhale through the nose with it. Okay, when you're ready, straighten out your legs if you need to. This is too much for your knees. Rest your arms down, breathe normally, and notice the heavy sensation in your arm bones, the tingly sensation you feel energetically, maybe some drainage down into your arms and hands. This breath works energizing and recharging and revitalizing. So let's do it one more time. Hands to the fist in front of the shoulders. Let's begin. It's also a great way to cleanse the nasal passages. Three, 2, and 1. Relax. I know. We do. We need to tell Jen we need 2 nexus in here for pranayama practices. Sorry, they're in the bathroom. And then let's go ahead and open up the lids of the eyes. We're gonna come away from this bolster that we've been sitting on. And I'd like you to join me in tabletop position. So if you need extra padding, add a blanket under your knees. So today might feel a little bit more challenging at certain points. Because being inspired from India, we would do things 10 times or hold for 10 breaths. Okay, so we're going to attempt that today. It doesn't mean you have to struggle or torture yourself if it's too much. Please come out at any point if necessary. All right, so we're going to do 10 cat cows. So as you inhale, let's feel the belly down. Let's go ahead and lift the tailbone, lift to the top of the head. And then as you exhale, drop the tailbone and the head downward and arc up through the shoulder blades. Inhale, moving into cow stretch. And then exhaling into cat stretch. Continue. If you have a hard time counting, don't worry about the count. But sometimes counting can be a good meditational tool. Giving your mind something to focus on so it's less apt to wander and roam. Following those cat cows, you may want to grab a block or 2 because we're gonna sit back on our heels. And if that's too challenging for your ankles or your knees, find a block in between the feet or double the blocks and sit taller. Let the shoulders kind of hang down the back. Let your heart be more exposed so it's not sunken in. We're just holding for 10 breaths. This is something a lot of Western teachers avoid, but every Indian teacher included this multiple times in the practice. And so I'm going to start implementing it at least once in the practice. Notice the stretch you're getting through your ankles, obviously the flexion in the knees. You may feel it a little in the quads or hips. But this is a great way to even sit in meditation. They even have meditation benches that you can sit on this way that lifts you as high as the double blocks. All right, we'll gently come away from the block. You may want to send it in front of you again. We'll come to a standing Vajrasana. Is this okay for everyone on a blanket? If not, we can come to stand for this. Okay, it looks like everybody can do it. All right, inhale, lift your arms up overhead. And this is a form of standing Vajrasana. Have your palms initially turning to face each other. And then turn your right hand out and lower it down to your side body and sway over in that direction. Opening up this lunar panel. We're going to try to hold for 10 breaths. I'm usually a 3 to 5 girl. The 10 is a bit challenging for me. And then turn the right hand out and let's build right back up to the top. Good. Exhale, lower your left arm down and sway in that direction. So some of the things we'll be doing with 10 repetitions. One that we'll be doing today with 10 repetitions is going to be Cobra pose. And what made that pose so intense in India was the teacher was really commanding that we have the elbows touching the body. And I thought I did. And then realized they weren't. So we're going to try our hand at it in a little bit. All right, inhale. Let's bring that left arm up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands together, pull them down to your heart center. I don't care which foot you lead with. So think about, what feels intuitive to you. Step a foot forward, lean into it, and then come up to stand. It's a Japanese way of coming up from the floor. Let's walk to the front of the mat. Look down at your toes, line them up on one invisible line, and spread out the feet. And really condition them down. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, fold into Uttanasana. All right, we're coming up and down 10 times. That's 1. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, plow it back down. Inhale, stay strong in your legs and core, especially as you lift away from gravity. You can always bring the palms together and look up if that doesn't strain your neck or shoulders. But you can always keep the hands separate and the chin parallel to the floor if it does.
Doesn't have to be so precise because I lost count. Did you say 6?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going with her count. So this is 9 and 10. All right, now we're gonna hold Uttanasana for 10. So if you need to softly bend your knees, that's fine. Please don't bounce. Please don't pull yourself into the pose. Just let it be. And if you want to be active, you can really plug the feet down. You can lift the kneecaps up and be more structured in the lower body. Affirming as you hold. Nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. Yoga, sadhanam, gacchami. Take refuge in this discipline of yoga. And realize our lung capacity is different person to person. But we'll go ahead and bend the knees and we'll lift the arms in front of us and alongside the ears to Utkatasana. And as you exhale, the arms are going to swing back and you're going to breathe out through the mouth. Take it for 9 more. Last one. Bring the arms in front of you and please don't do too much if your knees can't handle it, but you're dropping the tailbone, bending the knees more, coming down like a squat, and the arms reaching out are going to help to counterbalance us. We're holding for 10. Not 10 breaths, 10 counts. All right, bring the blocks under your hands. Step the left foot back behind you. You're lunging the right knee, and I know I'm probably not hearing you guys. But keep the front knee aligned over the ankle. Your back thigh plucking up towards the sky at first. And notice how we have the tendency to dump the weight into the hands, or we have the tendency to dump the head. So keep the head up, keep your hands pressing, and that right foot rooting. Good, and then drop the back knee, untuck the back toes, separate the blocks away, and come down to the fingertips. All right, notice when we bring the hands down, again, we start dumping, releasing, and that's fine. We can be here in this kind of receptivity, but we're gonna come up and down 10 times. So as we're coming up, we're pushing through the right foot. Notice I'm drawing up through the pelvic floor. I'm lengthening my back over the pelvis, and the arms come up to frame the face. And as you exhale, the hands fan out, you release the hips and bring the head and hands down. All right, that was 1. I need a tissue. I'm gonna step out as you do the 10 half lunges. When you finish the 10, build the arms up and hold the half lunge. And then from here, we're going to take a twist. So the right hand will separate to the right hip, and the left hand will come to that front knee. Stabilize through your back, shin, and foot, anchor it down. Zip up through your midriff, that also helps. Push down through the mound of the front big toe. And then exhale, unwind from the twist. Bring the blocks back in, curl the back toes under, lift that back knee, and step the back foot forward. Immediately step your right foot back behind you, lunge the front knee, push back through the right heel, charge into that left foot so your hamstrings are defined. Don't become so dependent on the blocks, even though they're assisting us to stay lifted so that we're not dumping the head in the chest. Good, exhale, descend your back knee, untuck your back toes, find a blanket if you need extra padding, send the blocks to the sides, and inhale, come up, Anjamyasana. Good, exhale, release. That's the first. Go at your own pace and synchronize it with your specific breath. And same as before, when you arrive to 10, hold the half lunge with your arms up. And then you'll exhale, twist to your left. Right hand to the front knee, left hand to your waist. So I'm either counting to 10, or we're holding for 10 breaths, or we're doing sets of 10 today. Unwind, bring the hands back to the blocks, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee off the floor, and step it to the front. Now, leave the blocks off the mat a moment, fold back down and into your Uttanasana, and we're going to step it into plank. So when you're ready, step the feet back, and we're going to hold plank for 10 solid breaths. Now notice if your head's dropping, if your hips are lifting, you actually want your heart shining forward, your neck in line with your spine, your palms pushing the floor away from you, your upper back engaged, your upper pectoral muscles engaged in your chest, your belly hugging in, your quads are firm. And if you need to modify or lower, you're going to do tabletop. Good, exhale down to the knees. Everyone stretch back into extended child's pose. Hands super glued to the floor, elbows lifted. Feel the stretch through your back. Breathe into your back lungs. And notice how this pose is a perfect pose to take refuge in. Yoga, Sadanam, Gacchami. This is a pose that we fall into when we're grief-stricken. This is a pose that we drop into when we're feeling a huge amount of respect, gratitude, humility. So it's a great way to turn inward. Affirming our prayers for all of mankind to live in harmony and in peace. Inhale, rock forward. Now, as you exhale, it's going to be hard, you guys. I don't expect you to do it if it becomes too much. You're going to shift your shoulders past your wrists, okay? And we're dropping the chest and the face and hovering above the floor. The elbows squeeze in. We're holding for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Spill down to the front of your thighs to your belly. Lengthen your legs back behind you. I held the last class in that pose for 10 breaths. Oh. So be glad you're in gentle. All right, stretch your legs back. Bring the big toes to touch. Shoulders are gonna loop back away from the earlobes. And your elbows are gonna squeeze in like they did in that previous pose, okay? Inhale to cobra. Wouldn't come up very high because we're doing 10. Exhale, release. That's 1. Legs shoot back, glutes stay firm, shoulders stay down. Each time you come up, see if you can touch your elbows to your side body. That's the hard part. And that's what they were really demanding of us in India. Whew. Are you feeling that extra work? I mean, talk about the back muscles firing up. Maintaining a strong back is really important. All right, I lost count. I'm gonna say this is 10. Go for it, Donna. And then inhale, push away from the ground, which feels hard at first. Bring the block with you. We're coming back to sit on the block or the heels. Give your arms a momentary break. That's the nice thing about the India form is you get breaks. So it's not just, so you do the work and then you let it settle. And hot flashing like crazy. Okay, it is really hot. Yeah. Okay. Start arms around. Lace up your hands. You're probably wondering, why aren't you getting that to change? I'm gonna get you into a pose first. So you can either be here, maybe this feels really good. Maybe you want to invert, coming away from the block in your heels. So you're lifting your hips, bringing the head down, but please don't put a lot of weight on the head. It's not a headstand. Oh Lord. The air is coming. Oh, this is it. It's only 77. What did they put it on? 105. Oh my. Yeah, warm is 85 tonight.
But they just call it yoga. It's always
Yeah. It was not hot in my classes. No, we were in comfortable places. Actually, come back up. Release your hands. Come away from the block again. And stand back in tabletop position. We're going to take downward facing dog next. So from tabletop, we curl the toes. And we lift the hips way up high. Hands are shoulder distance apart. Stretch out your limbs. Stretch out your spine. If you want to activate your calves and heels, you can walk the dog or you can lift your heels and then drop the heels. So pumping the feet up and down is a great way to help to drain the lymphatic fluid in the lower body, but also it can give you that stretch. All right, now find some stillness. We're gonna hold for 10 more breaths. If you need to come to tabletop or puppy pose, feel free. Exhale, when you're ready or completed your 10 or need to come down, come to your knees. We're gonna take the weight off the hands and we're gonna bring the legs out now. Practice. Okay, this is the challenge. The hands are gonna go behind our backs. We're gonna start in the easier format, which to me is knees bent and the feet flat. So we're gonna do 5 reverse tabletops, and then we'll do 5 reverse planks. That way we're not doing 10 of each, but we're still getting 10 in. Okay, so just do your best. Press the hands and feet, tuck and lift. Look up towards the ceiling, and then let your exhale bring you down. Good, that's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Good. Take a moment to lift your hands up. Wrap your arms in front of your shins. Bow the head, forehead towards the knees. Momentary break here. And then inhale, lift the head up. So usually with these type of poses, I usually do 1. I was shocked we were doing 10. And we did it in 2 classes. And I was like, what is it with this pose over here? Okay, so now we're gonna do it the way we did it, except again, we're just gonna do 5 because this is gentle. The legs are gonna be straight and the toes are gonna point. The hands we're gonna come back behind us just like we did before. And now this is reverse plank. Okay, you ready? 1. And come down. 2. The in-breath lifts you, the exhale brings you back to the floor. Okay, that's 2. 3. 4. Am I the only one that thinks this is hard?
Really hard.
Because you guys are like making it look easy now.
This is really hard. That's pretty.
It is really hard. Okay, take the weight off your wrists, rotate your wrists. Because this last one, I'm gonna ask you to do something that we were asked to do in the final one. I want you to think about bridge pose. When we're on the floor and we're tucking and lifting in bridge, right? See how much the pelvis is higher than the shoulders? They were asking us to bridge in that pose. All
And
right,
reverse plank.
yes.
Oh my God.
I know, we're gonna try it, but we're not gonna hold it. We had to hold it for 10 breaths. So we're just going to hold it for a couple, okay? So point the toes, hands behind the back. It wasn't all this intense, but this was intense. Point the toes. Lift and try to bridge it. I know. Try to bridge it, hold for 1 to 2 breaths, and then just bring it right back down. Ooh. All right, lean forward and shimmy your sits bones behind you. And notice how that gets you back on your seat properly. And then right knee's gonna bend. And we're gonna open from the hip. If you need some catering to this side, you can always sack a block or blanket underneath there. But the arms are gonna float up. Exhale to Janu Shirshasana. Notice if the knee wants to pop away from the floor, you're actually trying to root the backside of your thigh. So if it keeps wanting to pop up, you may be taking your torso too low. And that may be stressing your hamstrings. So it's not about touching the toes. It's not about getting the belly to the thighs or the forehead to the knee. So just kind of let that go. Inhale, stretch your arms forward. Let your arms build you up. Keep that left ankle flexed in front. Good. Try not to slide your hips for the left leg. You're just gonna spin from your waist. Let your left hand come to the bent knee, let your right hand come to the floor behind your back. Press into the finger pads on that back hand and align your vertebrae. Lengthen out through the stem of the spine, and then pull with your left hand and roll back with your right shoulder. Yeah. Close your eyes. Focus on the open channel of breath. And affirm, I radiate, I love, goodwill, compassion to soul friends everywhere. Sending your light, love, and positive energy to pockets of the world that desperately need it. Exhale, unwind. Good. We're gonna try something a little trickier. We're gonna bend the left knee. That left arm is gonna reach out to the inside of the left knee. And we're gonna turn the thumb down, spin the hand out. It's almost like someone's twisting the arm so that we can create the bind in the front of the shin. Yeah, that's it. That's all you have to do. And then take your right arm, backstroke it behind you. And it doesn't matter if the hands touch or not. They can just rest somewhere on your back. And if they come together, you can loop the fingers together. Okay? And then you're just gonna bow your head. At the same time you're bowing your head, you're using that left arm to hug that left knee towards you. Feel the effect it has in your head. Now release your arms. Start to uplift your head. Come out of that bind. Left leg in front. Right leg next. Shimmy the knees. Good. Then bend your left. Turn open from the hip. Let the foot meet the inner thigh. Flex out the right ankle. Float the arms overhead. And exhale. Hinge down. Find your level of ability and honor your flexibility. Don't try to push it, fight it, or force it. Find a place where you can openly breathe. Next, inhale, stretch your arms forward and then allow the arms to help to build you back up. Good, exhale, take that spin to the left, separate the hands, right hand to the bent knee, left hand to the ground behind you. And then recheck that front foot, good. So you're good, Mary, so you're on the center of that heel, you're stretching out through your toes. Maybe push a little with your right hand, maybe roll back with that left shoulder. Radiate my love, goodwill, compassion to soul friends everywhere. Exhale, unwind from the twist. And we'll do that challenging one today. Right foot slides back. Right arm goes to the inside of that knee. And then we twist, twist, twist. Keep turning the arm so it binds around the front of that leg. Just do the best you can with what's available. Left arm's gonna circle behind the back. Hands can rest there or join. And then you bow your head. Feel free to close your eyes. And inhale, release your hands. Bring it up. Slide your right leg out, your left leg back. All right, let me show you what we're gonna do. You get to do it. The knees are gonna bend. And we're gonna place a block between the knees, and then this is what it's gonna look like. It's not gonna be your typical bridge. So your hands are gonna be face down, and let your shoulders drop and stretch away from your ears. The feet are gonna press, you tuck and lift. So this is not a bridge. So look at this pose. This is Dwi Patam Pitam. This is two-legged table. I am not tucking my shoulders under. I'm not lifting my pelvis any higher. But this is really gonna work your feet, your hamstrings, your glutes, and then you're gonna bring it down. And you're gonna do 10 reps of this. Yes, I do. They can do it. Good. So first of all, are your ankles aligned under your knees? So walk your feet back, have the block between the legs. You got it. Arms beside you, let the shoulders stretch down from your ears, palms facing down. Good. Now inhale, pressurize the feet, tuck and lift. Good. And then exhale, bring it on down. Good. Inhale to two-legged table. Exhale, reground and sink. I think that's 2. Keep going. 3. 4. 'It's okay if you're not with me. 6. 7. 1. 10. Good. All right. So you're going to stretch your arms out, shoulder height. Hover your feet barely above the floor. Let your knees roll partially to the left. And then inhale, bring them through the middle. And then exhale a portion of the way to the right. And bring them back to the middle. So do it 2 more times, just a fraction of the way. And then your next set of 3, if you're ready for it, you're going halfway down towards the floor. Coming back through center, rolling to the other side, going halfway towards the floor. And then you'll do that 2 more times. So we're doing a set of 3 at each level. The next level, if you're ready for it, you're lowering the knees almost to the floor, but hover. Bring them back to the middle, take them over to the opposite side, almost to the floor. We're massaging the glutes, the piriformis. 3 of those, and then when you're ready for the last one, you'll roll the knees to the left and let them spill down. And this time we're gonna hold it. Let your left foot drop as well. Feet down, knees down, breath full. And 5. I'm holding this last one for 10. And then when you're ready, take it all the way over to the other side. Right knee down, right foot down, just kind of relaxing into it. Remembering twists are so good for the endocrine system, the digestive system, the muscular skeletal system, even our respiratory system. They are cleansing, purifying. They help to wring things out, even the judgments and opinions of others that we tend to stuff in our belly. We're trying to get rid of it. We're gonna do one last pranayama before Shavasana. Pranayama is breath work. So if you want to just roll completely to that right side, lose the block and come up to sit, you can. If you'd rather come back through the middle and rock and roll forward, you can. If you want to try sitting on your heels or blocks, you may. If you want to sit cross-legged or legged straight, it doesn't matter. Basically find your comfort. And we're gonna do a cooling breath. So you know how we use the mudra and we do the alternate nostril breath and we're going back and forth between the two sides of the nose. That's a balancing breath. And it's a balancing breath because typically we're either more dominant on the right side or the left side. Now, if we stay dominant on the right side, it's an activating type of breath. If we stay dominant on the left side, it's more of a cooling breath. Therefore, if we want to manipulate it and create that effect for us, we're going to go in the direction of cooling today. And it requires your right hand, the first 2 fingers coming down towards your palm. And maybe you can get your ring finger and pinky finger together. If not, you can pull them together to make it a little easier. It's a little tricky. And so we're only going to breathe in through the left side and only breathe out through the right side. So we're not reversing it. Okay. So close the right side of your nose with the thumb. Breathe in through the opening on the left. The top of the inhale, close it with the ring finger, pick up your thumb, breathe out right. At the end of the out breath, swap the fingers, breathe in left. Swap the fingers to breathe out right. So it's that same pattern. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. So I'm going to stop my instruction because I don't want you to wait for me or feel like you have to go quicker because of the instruction. Just keep it going. do 5 more rounds. Completed those 5. Put your hands to your lap. Breathe evenly through both sides of your nose. Hands to prayer position at your heart. You can join in or you can just listen. Yoga Saranam Gacchami. 2 more. Yoga Saranam Gacchami. Yoga Saranam Gacchami. So to take your rest, you can plug the bolster under your legs or under your spine if you want to utilize this prop. If you want to just be flat on your back, that's okay too. Pick the one that speaks to you. If you're at the wall, feel free to send legs up the wall. Taking moments in your day to withdraw from the world, activity, responsibility. It's important. Hopefully, Shavasana has taught you that this is something that should be done daily. I'm going to give you the next few moments to do just that, to rest, to breathe, to withdraw from the senses, just to concentrate on this present moment. Enjoy and embrace the silence.
Take refuge. This. Take refuge into the hermitage of my own heart. Just slowly deepen the breath. You should enliven the breath, bring a little movement into your body. Maybe it's your hands and your feet. Maybe it's turning your head, shoulder to shoulder. Bend the knees and roll the weight to one side of the body. Come up to take a seat.
All your hands to join together, the prayer. Yoga, Sivanam, Gachami, hope. Take refuge.
Or at least I hope you took those last few moments to take refuge within yourself. This is an important message. And it's an important message to carry with us through 2024. Because astrology has been saying 2020 to 2024 is the collapse of the structures, the world we've known, of that dark matrix. The end of 2024, moving towards 2030, is the rebuilding. So let's carry this message with us, and let's make sure that we continue to develop or stay disciplined in some sort of daily ritual. Let's end chanting Om together. Take a deep breath in. Thanks for being here. Thank you. I am going to be doing a forecasting flow on January 1st. I do it every year. But thanks. And I have not looked into 2024 other than knowing what I already told you. So 2024 report will be at the beginning part of that flow. And then following that class will be another special class called Ring in the New Year, another one I do every year. And it'll be gentle restorative with the sound bath. So there are two completely different practices on the first. But I'm also, remember last week I told you I was gonna find a date with Jen to bring a little India to you, a little mixture of Diwali with my annual workshop with aromatherapy. That's gonna be the 17th. So we did set up a date for it, 17th of December. It's a Sunday from 4 to 7. There'll be sand art, there'll be sweets, there'll be a lighted labyrinth, the walking meditation we'll do, some restorative yoga, frankincense or peppermint oil for aromatherapy, and mantra meditation.
Thanks, you guys. Back for sure.